are aroused. I haven't seen people so aroused in a very, very long time.
Do not come. Do not come. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Punch Up Pod with Lila and Pat, our Sunday day special time shit show. We are doing a little pre-Oscar day drinking.
I was gonna say, you don't have to fluff it up. We're day drinking. This is what we're doing here.
Cheers.
This is it.
We're day drinking.
All right, let's go.
How are you? We never see each other at this time live. Welcome to everybody who's here. It's so much fun.
Normally, this is our panic time during the day on what are we covering? What are we covering? Shout out to Love, the beer of the day.
Aw, I like that. I like it a lot. We've got Citizen Mendejo, Kimiko, Truth to Tweet. We got Hogo.
I think it's funny. Bendejo just put that up, and then Reflect the Sun just donated 10 memberships.
What?
Amazing.
Thank you, Reflect the Sun. Cheers. Cheers. Well, hello, Dahlia. This European is so glad you guys did a special stream in an hour that is more suitable, I am sure, to your time zone. Welcome. Fun to see you live when you are maybe more awake than normal. Hello, J. Paul and Zizu. Sorry, excuse me. Teresa, BDA, Saul. Look at this. We've got everybody in the house. You guys are awesome. Wally, allegedly in Alberta. Hello. Sorry, it took me a second. I haven't even really started drinking.
A little puzzle there.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody. Good to see everybody. Okay, there's a lot, and we do have a hard out because the show must go on at 4:00 this time, and it's my one religion. Even though, like, I kind of don't even care anymore, but it's sort of, the Oscars have always been my religion.
Back when they let more political speech on, I enjoyed it more when people got up there, but now there's such an effort to censor people. So hopefully, I mean, some people will break through for sure, but let's hope a lot, because if you can't break through in this moment,
come on,
time,
especially when for the second year in a row, a Palestinian film or a film about Palestinians is being targeted by Zionists in Hollywood. One of the producers of the one that got the Oscar last year, No Other Land, was killed after that film won an Oscar, could not get distribution. I mean, it's like, everybody should be speaking up.
There should really be like a 5-minute video, on that. I mean, that's really significant to the industry. They should highlight him. They show all the dead people every year. Well, let's
start with all the Palestinians who have been obliterated, and we would be here for 100 years going through every single one in memoriam. So it would be really fantastic if the social justice warriors put some their money where their mouth is. The one that we have tried to show before with Michael Moore talking about 9/11, or no, it was about, wasn't that 9/11? Yeah, whatever.
Fahrenheit 9/11. Yeah.
Fahrenheit 9/11, and people booing him. And we've tried to show that, and then of course, we got our whole feed taken down. So we're not showing anything from the Oscars, but we will show some other questionable films that we have pulled. So just as a reminder, thank you all for being here on a different time. But please do make sure to like and subscribe and smash that notification bell. And without further ado, should we go to our cheers?
Yeah, absolutely. Cheers it up.
Okay. Sorry. That's horrible. Hogo, I saw that and I thought that maybe they were going to lift the restriction on him. Palestinian actor Motaz Maliz is prohibited from attending the 2026 Academy Awards, where his film The Voice of Hinrajab is nominated due to U.S. travel restriction. I mean, I am so ashamed. It's disgusting. We have a disgusting country. Okay. Moving to something good, right? Or did you want to comment on that, Pat?
No. When you said that, it just reminded me. All day I've had this version of a song stuck in my head. I'm proud to be an American, but it was not. But the lyrics were all altered. But I don't know those lyrics. So proud to be an American is just chiming in my head all day.
Gross. Yeah. Wait, but you didn't find it to pull for our music?
I couldn't. I tried. Okay. Sometimes there's restrictions on Instagram where they don't let you.
I know that happens a lot. All right. So we're going to do something good. This is how it's crazy how Finland solved homelessness. You're never going to believe what they did.
This is Finland, a cold, quiet country in northern Europe, sitting between Sweden and Russia, right near the Arctic Circle. And this country has done something that almost no other country has managed to do. Homelessness is often considered a problem that doesn't have a solution. But Finland didn't just reduce homelessness, they practically ended it. And what makes this story even crazier is that Finland did it while most rich countries were getting worse. The United States, Canada, the UK and France all were experiencing rising homelessness rates, but Finland went the opposite direction. Finland solved homelessness by changing one simple belief. Most countries treat housing like a reward. There are steps you have to follow in most of these countries, like get clean, get a job, fix your life, and then perhaps you deserve a home. Finland said that let's do it backwards, because if you don't have a stable place to sleep, how are you supposed to fix anything? So Finland created something called Housing First. The idea is simple. If someone is homeless, you give them a permanent home first, not a temporary shelter, not a bed for one night, not a program that kicks them out after 3 months. A real apartment, a door that locks, a kitchen, a bathroom, a place that belongs to them. Then once the person is stable, Finland offers support, like mental health help, addiction treatment, job assistance, and so on. But here's the key, they don't make support a condition for housing. Because Finland realised something most governments refuse to admit. Homelessness is not usually caused by laziness, it's caused by a mix of mental health issues, addiction, trauma, and economic collapse. And once someone falls into homelessness, the system keeps them there. Sleeping rough destroys your mind, stress destroys your body, and shelters often feel unsafe, crowded, and chaotic. So Finland stopped treating homelessness like a moral failure and started treating it like a solvable systems problem. And the results were shocking. Not only did homelessness drop massively, Finland also saved money. Because it turns out that keeping people homeless is expensive, because there are emergency hospital visits, increase in crimes, that cost temporary shelters, and then court cases. A permanent apartment is cheaper than the chaos of the streets. So Finland didn't solve homelessness with motivation speeches. They solved it with one powerful idea. Before you fix a life, you have to give that life a place to stand.
I love that. And like every other thing we have, it's cheaper to solve the problem, like healthcare, than to continue this barbaric
It's
system.
just crazy that we pretend this isn't the solution.
I mean,
it's a solution for every issue. It's like, okay, and we spend money to not arrive at the obvious conclusion intentionally because of the bureaucracy and our crony capitalism that just everyone has to get rich off every problem that exists. You want to end hunger in the US? Feed people. It would be cheaper to do that than all this other shit too with food. It's like
it's all always so simple. And yet it's all capitalism. Like, of course, that's what it is. It is cheaper, safer for everybody. I mean, it's
healthcare. You give everyone healthcare. You don't have this crazy system. We all end up with better fucking healthcare.
Truly. And I honestly feel very concerned that we are close to homelessness, much closer probably than most of us ever imagined, because everything's being ripped out from under us. Everything. So yeah. I'm
sorry. Well, you'll never be homeless if you want to live in my small apartment with me. You and Josh.
The four of us and our dog. Can you imagine? That would actually be a hilarious
it'd be a great sitcom.
Yeah. That'd be a great sitcom. Wow, my brain's already not functioning well, and it's only 2:00 my time, and I've only had like 3 sips of wine. Okay, let's have a moment of fun before we get to a little more fun. It's we have some crazy stuff to cover, but some of it is pretty hilarious.
Yeah, baby.
And I think we have a extra video friendly, more fun show than usual.
Wait, say it one more time.
I said I think we have a more fun than usual video friendly kind of show today.
Yeah, I think so too.
Here's Mike Wilson Records is his name.
Okay.
$350 million U.S. citizens versus 1,000 billionaires. You do the math theoretically. This shouldn't even be hard. They usurp the true value of our labor, and then they send it right to the top. It is a pyramid scheme. Our entire economy is one gigantic MLM. Have you ever wondered why a trans athlete playing high school basketball is headline news? And can you name a single time that an immigrant actually stole your job? Did you know on average it only costs you $35 a year to fund SNAP benefits? Meanwhile, $750 go to corporate subsidies. We all have a common enemy, but it's not the ones they tell you it should be. It's time to bring back the public guillotine.
Yes, please. The public guillotine. I think that we can all get behind that. There was actually, was it Goldman Sachs? The CEO of Goldman Sachs was on Bill Maher, which I don't watch, but I saw the clip, basically saying we have got to have progressive taxes, tax the billionaires, because people we're really good at, upping the worth of our assets, but most people don't have assets. We need them to have food and healthcare and school. I'm sure he's only saying that out of fear. And then, of course, Bill Maher said something about like, oh, and I mean, look what Luigi did. And they called him a hero. He can barely even get behind the notion.
Yeah. Good Lord. Look, things have not massively improved since Luigi, but to act like it didn't have an impact is crazy. I think there are like 41 states, I think. I've always pulled numbers out of my ass, so who knows? But there are a large number of states with legislation changing pre-existing conditions or what's that pre-approval process or whatever. There's a phrase for it.
There was a phrase.
Where the doctor has to call the insurance company to get approval for something before they even consider giving it out, which is a huge delay tactic. And, and the doctors all hate it everywhere. Well, there's legislation now in 40 states. There would not have been that legislation without Luigi.
Right. That actually prevents it or that are up for votes.
Well, there's legislation up for votes
the table.
In these states. Yeah. And they're all probably different. Some are probably shit legislation.
But here's the thing is that
pre-authorization.
Thank you, Glenn. The lobbyists, they never let up. So they are, we know, they are very happy killing 68,000 people a year. We have 300 and whatever, what do we have? 65 days a year. So that's like, 20, is that 20 people a day? 200 people a day? Whatever. I'm not going to do the math, but it's not one. And they do that day after day after day. And with their money, they have changed the way our country is run. We used to have, it wasn't free, but a much more equitable healthcare system. That was a one-off. And my fear is that unless more Luigis pop up, that scare tactic will subside and it kind of gets pushed to the back, So it's not that I'm asking more Luigis to manja, but that legislation was crafted because of the fear of more Luigis. And I think they certainly have that, but unless the more Luigis show up before those data centers or not data centers, migrant centers, detention centers are ready for all of us to be packed in like sardines, they will not be afraid of us anymore. And then that's gone.
Yeah. And we're going to get bullshitted by all these healthcare executives. But one of them actually came out and said, yeah, we were getting a little too rich off this deal. It does have to change. And it's like when you hear that from the guy,
Yeah.
they know, of course they know, but that's making that statement publicly shows that it had an impact and they're scared still.
Yeah. And again, like doing the math sort of in my head, it's almost 200 people a day who are dying because just because they aren't able to, I hate saying access, but they aren't able to get to see a doctor because it's too expensive. Yeah. I was at the store the other day, and they, inside of our grocery store, have locked up all of the cleaning supplies.
Yeah. Like, another
in the grocery store. Yeah.
You got to go get someone to come over. You got to ring a bell and have someone come over to get you fucking $5 stick of deodorant.
And I'm like sitting there with my mask on, screaming like, this is absurd. Your CEO has stolen more wages from you than anybody could steal here. And now I'm waiting for you to call the manager because there's an overring. I've got a whole full thing of groceries here that I can't buy with you. I can only buy my dish. So like, what are we doing? Make it, make it free. Make cleaning supplies free instead of doing this and see what happens.
I mean, do we want people to not have access to deodorant as well?
Yeah.
Can basic life stuff not be so expensive? I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. All right, anyway. Let's get to one of the, sort of funnier issues happening with Bibi Netanyahu and the rumors that he died. So a few days ago, let's see, what day was this? One second. I am going to get there because we've got, as always. Okay. So this was March 12th. This was Thursday. Secretary Bessent was conducting was being interviewed by Sky News, and something unusual happened.
I listened to you on the.
The president wants you. Sorry, the president wants you right away.
Oh, okay. Okay, no problem at all. See you shortly, Mr. Secretary.
You can work that in.
Mr. Secretary, I have to say, it's a first, I'm sure a last as well, that an interviewee's been pulled away to go to the Situation Room. How was the president? Was he stressed?
No, the president is in great spirits. The Iranian mission is proceeding well ahead of schedule. And I have to tell you, Wolf, that I've a teenager who's considering military service, and I could give this team my highest compliment, from President Trump to the head of the Joint Chiefs to the Secretary of War. I would say that I would trust my child's life in their hands.
God, how much he must despise his own children, right? But so
that part, but then that part is, it's also irrelevant to if the war is justified. Like, just because Americans may be safe in this war doesn't make any of it right.
I mean, every part of it's horrible. But what people focused on in that interview was that Netanyahu hadn't been seen for a while. He wasn't in the Situation Room the few days before that. And they thought that when Bessent returned, he looked really shaken up. I don't know him enough to know if that's him shaken or not. He always sort of looks like that to me, but okay. So then the next day, on the 13th, Friday, Netanyahu gives a public speech. It goes on forever. But the part that people kept focusing on was the fact that it looked like it was glitching out and he had 6 fingers.
שמשנים את מאזן הכוחות במזרח התיכון וגם מעבר לו.
I mean, that's definitely 6. And by the way, I don't know why it's so hard for me to count to 6. I had to count those fingers like 10 times. I was like, wait, is it? No, like, because my mind just kept making it a normal hand. It was so weird. Like, I actually had to pause the thing, and each finger I covered to count them off because it kept making it 5.
Well, that's how your brain works. You do recognize symbols and things, and you're like, a hand has 5 fingers. That's how it works.
You're right.
End of story.
Okay. So then, there were all of these things online missing. Where is he? Last seen with 6 fingers. People were just putting all this stuff out there. and wait, I just want to make sure this is the right date. Oh, and then there was another one where this is today is the 15th. So this was put out as proof, breaking. This is evidence now. Benjamin Netanyahu's still alive. He's meeting with IDF officers. I mean, the grammar is all over the place. I don't know this account. So I'm just putting it out there that the rumors were swirling. News of Netanyahu's death is fake news. And if you look down there, it says the 14th of March, 2026, which was yesterday. And then somebody else finds this, which is tweeted from Netanyahu's actual account 7 years ago with those same women. So then people are like, oh my God. But like, meanwhile, it's very difficult unless you're an expert and can analyze all the metadata to know exactly what's going on. But certainly it felt fishy, right? It feels weird that we haven't seen him.
It does. And somebody, I think Saul in the chat mentioned it, that it could be lazy. It could be because, you know, they know he's a high value target right now. Yeah. And they're just throwing AI out to keep him safe. You know, it doesn't, 100%. We don't know.
100%. But, because here's the thing, if he's alive, he has been sort of in hiding, right? And what Hegseth has been saying is, you know, oh, those Iranians are scared. They're like rats hiding underground, making it an issue to try to act like just the way they did with Yahya Sinwar, like, oh, they are, you know, they're little rats. They're scared to fight with their people. Right. When meanwhile, like, the truth is they were walking along the streets in Tehran with no security even.
Iran's leadership is in no better shape. Desperate and hiding, they've gone underground, cowering. That's what rats do. We know the new so-called not-so-supreme leader is wounded and likely disfigured. He put out a statement yesterday, a weak one, actually, but there was no voice and there was no video. It was a written statement. He called for unity. Apparently killing tens of thousands of protesters is his kind of unity. Iran has plenty of cameras and plenty of voice recorders. Why a written statement? I think you know why. His father, dead. He's scared, he's injured, he's on the run, and he lacks legitimacy. It's a mess for them. Who's in charge? Iran may not even know.
Yeah, I like how you leave out his wife is dead too because you killed her. His child is dead too because you killed them. Yeah. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but like everything is just phrased in a way that we're the good guys, we're winning, they're scared, they're evil.
Also, he's such a like pathetic little Zoolander boy where he's like, oh, his face is disfigured. Like, that's the issue. You know, he's probably disfigured. Like, that has actually nothing to do with, it's just like, you're ugly. It's not like, you know, you're hiding like a rat. But if you make a point about their leaders are scared and hiding, and then your co-conspirator in this illegal war hasn't been seen, right? So today there was another video put out. Wait, let's get to the thing. Oh, the other thing with the video with the 6 fingers from Friday was this one where they said that his teeth keep disappearing. So this is slowed up for you. All right. So you get the point,
that is very AI. These are traits of AI. Fingers, teeth, objects coming and going in and out.
Yeah. I mean, 6 fingers is kind of like, I don't know. Okay. So today we get another video, this time from a coffee shop as proof of life. Here it is. It's a minute long. Watch closely, and then we will analyze all the possible AIs. Yeah.
תודה. מה שאלת אותי?
ראש הממשלה אומרים ברשת שאתה בכלל מת?
אני מת על קפה, אתה יודע מה? אני מת על העם שלי. איך הם מתנהגים, פנטסטי. אתה רוצה לספור את מספר אצבעות?
אתה יכול להראות לנו?
פה. פה. היית?
יפה מאוד.
לחיים.
ראש הממשלה מסר לאנשים שיוצאים ומתאווררים?
לצאת להתאוורר, אבל ליד מרחב מוגן. והעמידה שלכם היא מדהימה, נותנת כוח לי, לממשלה, לצה"ל, למוסד. אנחנו עושים דברים שאני לא יכול לשתף ברגע זה, אבל עושים דברים מכים באיראן חזק מאוד, גם ביום הזה, גם בלבנון, ממשיכים. אתם אומרים לי להמשיך? אני אומר לכולכם, גם אתם תמשיכו. תמשיכו להישמע להוראות פיקוד העורף, כל הזמן, להישמע להוראות פיקוד העורף, וגם לראשי הערים, להיות תמיד ליד מרחב מוגן. ואנחנו נקל ככל שהדבר ניתן. ותודה לך על הקפה, הוא מצוין. אני לא יודע לגבי הקלוריות, זה נראה לי מסוכן מאוד.
Okay.
So I haven't read any of the criticisms or anything about this. I've watched it once, but does the coffee change hands too quick for the handshake? Is that the big thing?
I think it's just that it doesn't spill at all. First of all, there's no sleeve. Like, you know, those are hot and usually there's a sleeve and you hold it. He's holding something that is flush with the rim at the top. And he's going like this and talking. Nothing comes over. He takes a sip. It doesn't go down. Also nothing on his lip, but okay. But like, I've actually never seen something that high not have any spillage at all. And I would think it would be hot. That's what I would think.
And right before the handshake, it is in his right hand because you notice that weird claw, which is an unnatural looking grip as well.
Yeah.
And his hands are both bigger than the man. Like, you know, I don't.
Yeah. Interesting.
That's another piece. But it's in his right hand, and then they turn the camera just a teeny bit to the other guy, and then instantly he's shaking hands. And if he had a full cup of coffee, that transfer could never have happened that fast. I mean, from what I saw.
Right? It would never happen that fast. It certainly wouldn't happen without spilling something. Like, come on. Like, would not happen. So this is a close-up, just in case you missed it on that first bit. Look how weird his fingers are there. But okay, fine, maybe because it's so hot. But the swirl doesn't change. There's nothing, like, it doesn't change. It's very strange. And then it doesn't spill. So that's weird. This part I do not understand, which is the pocket. People keep talking about the pocket. Here's the close-up. Maybe somebody can explain to me why this is a giveaway that it's AI. I don't know what people are talking about there.
I don't know what they're talking about, but I noticed it as unnatural in the live feed of it too.
Really?
It was another thing that caught my attention. So I don't know. Maybe
people keep saying like, "Oh, I want a
how
pocket
things
to..."
should.
Yeah, I want
Well,
I want a pocket to close like that. Is what people are saying, but I don't get it because like it looked normal to me. No,
I don't know. This is all supposition. It could be real. Who knows? It seems fake to me though, and that, like people keep saying, that doesn't mean he's dead. That means they're in hiding, most likely.
Right. Yeah. Although, yes, I agree. I mean, yes, it's just sort of interesting that they're just so bad at this. Like they are so used to being able to get away with everything, and now we're all like internet detectives, right? Like Encyclopedia Brown. But anyway, it's given rise to, well, first of all, I did screenshot this myself because I saw other people screenshotting. I clicked on this person asking Grok, not that Grok is like, to be trusted entirely, but everybody was getting this same response. Yes, this clip is AI generated, a deep fake. Netanyahu's alive. He held a live press conference March 12th, has issued public statements as recently as yesterday. Pocket detail and odd setting are common deep fake tells. I went to the coffee shop's Instagram. They have they have a picture of him there from yesterday. I know people did a close-up on the register behind him. I tried to do that, but I don't have like high resolution enough pixels to like spread it open. They said it was from either 2 years ago, I think in 2024. But then other people showed another close-up, which like I can't tell whose is right or not, that said no, it was from today. So I mean, I have no idea. But anyway, you know, so now
Yeah.
they're just memes all over the place that are kind of funny, right? Like just random
I love
stuff.
that one.
Yeah. And yes, his son was killed, I thought. No, his brother was killed. His brother was killed since the war started. So that's a pretty high level killing, you know, for Israel, right? Okay, so wait, I want to see what people are saying with the Saul says his jacket is just helping about the AI. The cloth moves towards you. I have to look and see. Yeah. Who are
Yeah.
Okay, well anyway, that was you know, worst use of AI is what we would call that,
Yes.
but also entertaining.
That's the other thing with the Oscars tonight. I'm curious how much AI shit is going to creep into it. Will there be any discussion about AI from any of these cowards? Probably not.
Well, do you know what's so crazy? We showed that clip of Ben Affleck talking about how AI was never going to be able to really replace writers. It could do like general, basically like in-depth searches for you, like a more high-powered Google, but it was never going to be able to replace creativity, and it would just be like recycling old things, you know, like all of that stuff. He owns he bought some AI company.
Well, and he's just dead wrong, you know. Yes, it will never have a creative soul, but it can replace us without a creative soul. You know, that's the whole point.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't, yes. I don't think he was saying it won't replace us. I think he was saying it's never going to be as good as brilliant filmmakers. But then it's just kind of a bummer that he's contributing to all of it. All right.
The good billionaire kind of thing. The good AI.
Yeah. So we'll see. There have been a bunch more videos put out. Iran put out a video, which, you know, I don't really like to celebrate death, even if it's of awful people. But the interesting part of it was they were able to match IDF soldiers they've killed with their presence online and reveal who they were, which showed a level of surveillance and intelligence that was surprising to a lot of people in the West, which, you know, is interesting. And certainly they're not reporting, you know, there's such a silencing of actual reporters that we don't know the number of US military who have been killed. We don't know the number of Israelis who have been killed. We don't see actual footage from Tel Aviv. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, we're getting lied to so much. And look, if you want us all to be conspiracy theorist believers, keep lying like you are in the media, because that's how you get Pizzagate every time there's a new story.
Well, and like having read a little bit in those Epstein files, it feels a lot like Pizzagate was a psyop so that it could be discredited, which would then kind of discredit all the Epstein stuff. Like he was meeting with, you know, Steve Bannon and the 4chan guy. Like, I don't know. So like, if that's what they're doing, it makes sense. Like make everybody unable to trust anything, which is how I feel now. Like, I feel like it's crazy town.
Yeah. And that is the point, you know,
make
us, you know, you can't trust your own eyes. They can show us Netanyahu and it's not Netanyahu now. And we're the crazy ones for thinking, should he have 6 fingers? I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's normal. Listen, a high school boyfriend of mine was born with a 6 finger. I mean, they got rid of it when he was like a newborn, you know, it's like an extra appendage, but that's possible. Like, maybe they just never showed it to us before. And now they're, you know, like you start trying to make sense of all of it. And it's, but I do think chaos is the point, right? It's not, they are not interested in us knowing the truth of what's really happening.
Yeah. At best, our opinion is so insignificant that they just make it a joke
Yeah.
The coffee shop, he's joking about his fingers. I got 6 fingers,
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, and it's another AI. So it's like, you don't give a fuck, do you?
Do not give a fuck. Let me tell you somebody else who doesn't. And, we on Thursday night were like, let's do an award show. We'll put it all together. And we started like polling stuff and what categories. And then it just kind of became overwhelming. Like, are we going to have 5 for each? And so we didn't do that. But biggest downfall or disgrace, Matt Taibbi is sitting on a Zoom call with Michael Tracy, making fun of the idea that Epstein has ties to Mossad, eating pizza and drinking grape soda.
Yeah, those two fell off so hard. Michael Tracy first, but
yeah.
I mean, Matt Taibbi was my hero.
Me too.
For the longest.
Yeah, Michael Tracy
time.
was never like my hero, but Matt Taibbi.
But Matt Taibbi was like one of the first people to really give Bernie high coverage, right? He wrote for Rolling Stone.
Yep.
And I mean, on a personal level, he was going to promote my book on Peter Douche. He was really into
right.
Peter Douche stuff. And to just see him turn and now do right-wing propaganda.
It's crazy.
Pretending to be a leftist, but doing right-wing propaganda. It's just...
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's even pretending anymore to be a leftist. Like, he's given that up. But Hate Inc. was such a brilliant book. He wrote about, the shooting, like police shooting of Black boys before most people in national media were giving it any attention, like in, I think, 2012 or something. Like, I don't know. It's really sad to see that. And then to also to make fun of pizza and grape juice, which, listen, we've talked about it so many times as we're going through all of these Epstein files, but there's a lot of talk about pizza and grape juice and beef jerky. And if you're it is abnormal for adult human beings to be writing each other about pizza and grape juice. Like, you and I text each other and talk every single day for the last 5 years, probably 10 times a day. One time, I think we mentioned pizza. Once. What is going on? And it's all different people. It's not just two buddies who are always having pizza and so to make fun of that.
It is absolutely code for something. You can say it's not code for what we're trying to make it out to be, but they're speaking in code. Undeniably.
Yeah. It's pretty gross. Okay. Do we spin before we move on to more war stuff? Or what do you think?
Of course we do.
Of course we do. What kind of question is that even?
What would our show be if we didn't
without
spin?
A little joy?
Yeah, baby.
Okay, look at that with a lefty LOL right away. I love it.
Let's keep it topic. Here's some more Sammy Obeid. We all love Sammy.
I love him. Yeah.
I love watching your TikTok, which is next level. Clearly, that's expressed by my 13-year-old son.
No! Please, no! No!
Iran has the world's 3rd largest oil reserves. Coincidence? No. Coincidences don't happen in the world of oil. You know what I mean? The number 1 oil reserves is Venezuela. Not sure if you've heard of them. They're a state in the United States, and I'm just kidding. Not yet. The 2nd largest oil reserve, Saudi Arabia. But the United States doesn't mess with Saudi Arabia. They're our ally because they helped us with 9/11. So, number 4 is Canada. I don't know if you heard of them. They're the 51st state of the United States. The strategy with Canada is we put them in the friend zone. We're friends. And then one day we're like, let me stick my tongue in your mouth. And then that's how we extract the oil. Number 5, small country called Iraq. I'm not sure if you've heard of them before, but apparently we have a history. It's by design. When you see that the top 5 oil countries are an obsession for the United States, you know it's always about the oil. They're saying Iran is going to get nukes. There's no evidence that they have nukes. Last year, the United States bombed their main nuclear facility, Fordo, in June. They said we obliterated Fordo and took out their nuclear weapon-making capabilities, only for a year later for them to be like, yeah, they're about to get nukes. What the just happened then? What did you bomb? They're like, no, we bombed it. It just grew back. All these fake ass reasons they have without mentioning the oil, which is what it really is. Trump's like, we don't like the way they treat their women. It's like, maybe you should sit this one out, buddy. Yeah, maybe grab him by the pussy, guy, huh? The reason why we know it's not the nukes, the protesters, or the way they treat their women is because, case in point, North Korea, I don't know here in Japan if you guys have heard of this country, but North Korea has nukes, and they have other long-range missiles. They're testing them in front of us all the time. They're like, woo! I know, you guys probably seen it, right? It's run by a dictator. Nobody even knows what he's into. And yet they have 50 nukes, but we're not going after them. We're not trying to have talks with North Korea. We're not trying to stop them, trying to invade them. Why? Because Google it. How much oil does North Korea have? 0 barrels. 0. They have 0 oil. As time goes on, I'm finding more and more respect for Kim Jong-un. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Maybe you guys feel a bit differently because he's like right there, but like from my safe distance in California, kind of seems like a cool guy, you know? He's dripped out. He's always got a fresh fade, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. He condemned the genocide in Gaza. He condemns all the aggression of the United States. And honestly, he seems more level-headed than all the politicians I have in my Congress. So that's a popular hashtag that'll never make it. Make the world Kim Jong-un again.
He's awesome. He's really smart. I think he was trained as a mathematician.
Yeah, I forgot about that, but you're right.
Yeah. All right. There were 2 other big accusations of anti-Semitism that happened in the last couple days that are, well, one is just entirely preposterous. And maybe that's what we should start with. So this is Jonathan Greenblatt of ADL fame bemoaning the fact that people are blaming Jews for this war on Iran.
So look, we are seeing Jewish people, the Jewish state, blamed for the war in the Middle East. That is wrong. It is wrong to scapegoat. It is wrong to hold Jewish people accountable for something you don't like on the other side of the planet. And we really need leaders on all sides, in politics, running for office, podcasters, to stop with the conspiracies, to stop with the accusations, and then tell us, but we oppose anti-Semitism. You don't get to say you're opposed to hate if you're trafficking in hateful conspiracy theories. Everyone needs to dial down the rhetoric, to take a step back, and to start doing something to stop this epidemic before it gets even worse.
How about no? How about no?
So that's crazy. That is crazy because, yes, people are blaming Israel, and Israel calls itself the Jewish state and says that all Israelis are Zionists and are Jews, and all Jews are Zionists, and every temple that you walk into in this country talks about Israel and raises money for Israel in different ways. And not only that, you had the Secretary of State saying it was because of Israel. You had Benjamin Netanyahu saying we finally got it done. You have him saying, I've been trying to get this done for 47 years. You also have the ADL. Today is Purim, a holiday when we celebrate the thwarted plot to annihilate the Jewish people of Persia, modern day Iran, and the courage of those who stood up against hatred. This year, the Purim story feels closer than ever. The former Iranian regime supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, a man who openly and obsessively called for the destruction of the Jewish state of Israel and the death of Jews worldwide, is a stark reminder of how the themes of this holiday echo into the present day. In Judaism, we are taught to cultivate joy even in the darkest of times. Joy and grief coexist, and we hold space for both. So as we rejoice this Purim, we recognize the dangers and uncertainties of this moment. We are praying for the safety of American service members in harm's way, Israeli civilians and soldiers, our partners and friends in the Gulf, and all others in the region who have already been targeted. So, I mean, also notice he doesn't say Iranian civilians, the most moral people, but they directly tied the beginning of Operation Epstein Fury, Epic Fury, Golden Lion to the fight against Persia in the Bible, to Amalek. They did that.
Yeah, they did that. And we're partnered with them in this action by the Department of War, which did not exist until the guy who wrote a book on wanting a holy war changed the name to the Department of War.
Yep.
And I like how Greenblatt says, like, when he's chastising us for being anti-Semitic and chiming in on things on the other side of the world, like we should not care about the other side of the world. Like, you're too ignorant because it's way over here and you don't understand this. Well, we're paying for it and doing it from here.
Yeah.
So we're going to care.
We're going to care, and sending our people over there to die for what? For what? And like, not even to mention illegal war destroying a 5,000-year-old civilization. Like, every part of it is disgusting. And you cannot, who's, God, I don't know if it was Elon Pape maybe, but I'm not sure who was saying that, the colors of Hanukkah have become the colors of the Israeli flag, which doesn't make any sense. So what his point was, like, it's the festival of lights. It should be, yellows and oranges and warm colors that are lit up, right? And instead, everything is always like light blue and white, the colors of the Israeli flag. How Zionism has like infiltrated every part of Judaism, things that it has nothing to do with. It's just, it's such a sort of terrifying project that has been going on. And I think so many of us, even if we've been awakened in the last 2 decades, but like it was part of us for such a long time without being aware of it.
And it's a lesson we're failing here in the US of the separation of church and state. You don't want things done in the name of your religion. It's not good for your country, your people, your psyche to have a diverse thing that's tied to some fantasy that everyone's supposed to believe in.
It's horrible. And thank you, Dahlia. I see you're saying it was Rabbi Yaakov Shapiro who said it. You're absolutely right. Thank you, Dahlia. I think he was on Katie Halper's show. You're totally right. My brain just re-clicked in. Thank you.
AI glitched.
AI glitched. Yeah, I'm not even really here. Look. Okay, but not only that, this was on CNN, or this was written in CNN, online CNN. The timing of the U.S. and Israeli attack on Iran bears symbolic meaning in Judaism. Ahead of the upcoming Jewish holiday of Purim, worshippers read the specific portion from the Old Testament known as Zachor. The passage from the book of Deuteronomy commands the ancient Israelites to remember an unprovoked attack by the nation of Amalek and to eradicate the memory of Amalek once the Israelites are settled in their land. The passage is read publicly before Purim to fulfill the mitzvah of remembering Amalek as Israel's archetypal enemy. And I mean, absolutely, Zionists stir up anti-Semitism intentionally to make it seem like we need an outpost in the Middle East where the only place where Jews can be safe, which is clearly, just look at what's happening, not the truth. And how are they existing for all of this time without trying to make peace with their neighbors? That has nothing to do with how I was brought up in Judaism. It's disgusting.
It's wild. I mean, I think it's just they mastered how to manipulate the Holocaust to forever be the evil people that are unchecked in the world. Like, it's just truly, and culturally they think they're these victims still.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, I'm reading some of your comments. It is really very strange that they get to claim victimhood as they are committing a genocide. I mean,
and the fact that they got with it in Palestine is only enabling this, and it's just going to keep going until we stop and break the connection with Israel.
And a lot of it, I mean, yes, that's what the U.S. has to do, but part of the problem also is American Jews have been perfectly fine making, even in Reform temples, making a connection to the current state of Israel. And when you do that, and the state of Israel says that they are the Jewish state, and they do everything in the name of Jews will never go through this again, as they are terrorizing Palestinians and waging war against their 7, surrounding nations, that only makes Jews less safe. Not that that's like the first order of concern here, but like that is part of the project. They would not be possible without anti-Semitism.
Yeah. Well, I think what's changed in the last 5 years or so is they're trying to extend that same connection to victimhood to Christianity, as Christianity and Judaism are neighbors, more or less, in the fight against the brown Muslims.
Yep.
So, it's the same sort of propaganda, which is why you've got Huckabee, religious right Christian zealot, out there as our ambassador to Israel, basically saying, God chose these people, even though he's a Christian, as the first most important people in the world.
It is crazy. It is truly crazy. And to hear them say, if you're not with Israel, I'm not with you. To hear, who is it? The guy from Texas talking about, we pulled it and now I can't remember because we had so many clips that we dumped it. But that religious fervor, as they are condemning like Islamic Nazis, is what Hegseth was calling Iranians. Like, I don't know. And nobody's putting them in their place. Like, US Jews, Western Jews should be speaking out against this every chance they get. Every chance, because you cannot give an inch on any of this. You just can't. It's horrific.
I mean, in fairness, and you're Jewish, obviously, I think there are a lot of people that are American Jews that don't support and are doing everything they can to speak out.
I think individuals are, but I think institutions are not, unfortunately. Even Reform temples, it's horrible. Like what happened in Michigan at a Reform temple, Temple Israel. A man crashed into the school. I think nobody was hurt. And of course, right away, there were claims that he was, Hezbollah. And now I'm not going to be able to find that either. And you know how my brain goes. But it turns out that he had like 4 or 5 members of his family had been killed in Lebanon the night before. The man who rammed his explosive-laden truck into a Michigan synagogue today was named Ayman Ghazala, according to a source familiar with the situation. Ghazala posted photos overnight of his family members, including young children who were killed in a recent Israeli attack on the town of Mashgara, Lebanon. I mean, so of course people like that those are senseless deaths. And fighting against people who claim to be in unison with the state of Israel, who are Jewish, doesn't make it anti-Semitic. It's anti-Zionism. But that delineation has been blurred intentionally by Zionists.
Yeah, and let's say he was successful and managed to kill a bunch of people in there. Okay, that's not going to be something Iran sanctioned, right? It's going to be somebody who, like, imagine if I woke up and found that my nephews were all killed and all this evil shit happened, and I'm living in a country that fucking hates my existence.
Yeah. And
over there, the people that align with the values of what caused this to happen, that's an extremist. That's how you build extremists. But Iran itself isn't going to want to do a terrorism in the U.S. They are not going to. They have the most public support for their cause they've ever had.
Yeah. And so, sorry, but just as a reminder, his family was from Lebanon.
I didn't
But
mean to conflate it with-
yes, I mean, also, the foreign minister was just on Face the Nation and asked if the U.S. prisoners that they've captured are going to be safe in Iranian prisons. And without missing a beat and completely calmly, he says, well, is your country going to attack our prisons? Because as long as they're not being bombed by the U.S., they will be safe.
We are the bad guys.
I mean, and again, I am not, a proponent of the Iranian regime, just as I'm not a proponent of the U.S. regime. And I understand why people, are protesting both governments. But they have intentionally not struck civilian centers. And so when they're being accused of, bombing all of their neighbors, they're not. They're bombing U.S. military bases.
Yeah. Did you see, and this is crazy, I need to do some more research on it, but a spokesperson from Hamas came out and condemned Iran for bombing its neighbors.
I saw that.
That was so, what are you doing? Because, I mean, the reality is Iran is not bombing their neighbors. They're bombing the U.S. in the neighboring countries.
Right.
Right. And yes, that does cause some civilian deaths, and that's not, it's not good, but they're trying to avoid that in this war so far.
Yeah. I mean, they're bombing people who bombed them first. Like, of course. I don't understand that. I saw an article on it, but I didn't probe deeply enough. So, but yeah. I mean, especially because Iran's like the only, and Yemen and Ansar Allah, that are actually showing solidarity with Palestinians. I don't know. Maybe, who knows? Maybe that's just somebody. I don't know. I don't know enough to know. I just want to quickly go back to all the people who tied the beginning of the war on Iran to the Jewish holiday of Purim and the need for Israelites to destroy everybody in Iran. This is from a reporter on Channel 12 News. Remember what Amalek did to you on your journey, yada, yada. We don't need to read what he says, but just as a, more evidence that this is why Chabad.org news, it is surely providential that the military operation was launched on the Shabbat. The Jewish people read the Torah's commandment to remember Amalek. The Jewish people's principle, though, during principle spelled wrong. Anyway, during their early years as a people, which is read on the Shabbat preceding the holiday of Purim. I mean, they were tying it. This is the CNN person. This is Jewish news. 2,500 years ago, an enemy arose in Persia who sought to destroy the Jews. They did not succeed then. Neither will they succeed this day, today, whatever. That's Netanyahu talking. So they did that.
Yeah, and they tell their own people all the time that this is a holy war. This is,
Yeah.
And so it's not like, if anything, our news tries to cover all that up, because they want this to be about safety and anti-Semitism, when the source is telling us it's a holy war.
Proudly, it's just insane, right? All right. I mean, you've got Trump going back and forth on the Tomahawk missiles. Did you see that? Where he's like, he said anybody could have a Tomahawk. And I was like, nope, we're the only ones with the Tomahawk. I mean, I don't know. We are in total crazy town and the world is burning. And they're calling Iranians terrorists while we are decimating one country after another. By the way, our embargo or blockade on Cuba, and our media says nothing. They just allow Greenblatt to say that and encourage him to accuse people of anti-Semitism.
It's wild, as much as Israel, the audience for Israeli news is very Zionist, right? They're very in support of most of what the government is doing, but they'll be on the news being more critical than you're allowed to be on our news.
Oh yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
It's just the land of the free here, and you're just not going to have a future on media if you discuss the news fairly. Like,
You've got, yeah, nothing. And it's not even good enough where it is now. Ellison still had to buy up, basically all of the news. Trump is out here, bragging about, he has very little to brag about, but I guess he can, brag about his big accomplishment of reshaping the media and all the people he's gotten fired. It's just, new ownership at CNN, free speech on X. He's gotten rid of, the Washington Post, different journalists. I mean, and a lot of these people were already Zionist propaganda, stenographers.
yeah, I mean, this is just another example of like the upside to Trump is how transparent all this is. Like, he's bragging about consolidating the media to have a right-wing bend. Like, that's not something you should be bragging about, but it's what we're doing here out in the public now.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. We showed the clip of Jake Tapper. Wait, let me just make sure I have this, because Katie Halper put out this tweet, which was great. I'm gonna call it up. We showed Emily Schrader being called onto a panel on CNN. So she's an American Israeli, to talk about on the street that, it was united. Iranians were united in their desire to be bombed to smithereens, basically. I mean, she didn't say bombed to smithereens, but for regime change, they want Pahlavi. She's been talking to everybody. They're united in their desire for regime change. That's the expert, is an Israeli American, not an Iranian at all. And also, last week, we found out that the soldiers, I think there were 3 of them, who the case against them for the rape that we all saw happening. I mean, it's not the only rape, but at Sede Taman, with the closed circuit footage of them all like surrounding him with their shields as he raped one of the Palestinian hostages, who was such a threat that they talked about it in the Knesset, how it was their right to inject sticks into terrorists' rectums. His organs were so damaged. There are medical reports on the puncturing of his lung, the tearing of his colon, it was just like horrific. And it was all proven. Like, there were right to rape riots. The prosecutor for this case, the prosecutor was let go because she released some of the evidence. I mean, it was just like one thing after another. Everybody very, proudly called them heroes. They were paraded out on TV while they were waiting for their trial. The case was just dismissed this past Thursday. And Emily Schrader's boyfriend is posing with one of the guys who was charged, or who had been charged with rape, whose case was now dismissed. And you will not hear anything about this on Jake Tapper's show. So that's the boyfriend, the one who's not hiding his face, of the Israeli American Emily Schrader, who said Iranians want to be bombed, that Jake Tapper has on the show all the time. And he will never talk about the way Israelis use, or IDF uses, rape as a weapon of terror against Palestinians. They just will not talk about it.
Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting. And Tapper is such an agent of the state. He's a piece of shit.
He really is disgusting.
I don't even know what to say. If this doesn't bug him that he just had on, this is her boyfriend, and there's no world where I or anyone I know or have any respect for would ever pose in a picture with that person.
Right?
And then to do the like, look at me, hang loose thing too, just next level fucking evil. Like,
it truly is. And it's the same people who will say, oh, you know, we went to Afghanistan to liberate those girls. We need to liberate the women of Iran. You blew up 168 little kids. And then the guy on the panel is like, yeah, but they would have been wearing a burqa. You know, it's like,
yeah.
Or, you know, they do the gay washing where it's like, oh, they throw gay people off of, you know, off of buildings in Gaza. Well, you just killed 600,000 people. I bet there were some gay people in there. Do they count? Like, I don't know. We are really in a place where truth doesn't matter. And mostly it's because they have shown so clearly how much disregard they have for humanity. Like, they just do not think that that anybody who they consider their enemy is human.
And that's the truth. And that's the truth that everyone knows at this point. So the longer our media continues to give these people a platform to lie in our faces, the more their credibility drops.
Yeah.
And that's all happening as Trump is parading around how proud he is that he's now bought the whole media. I mean, you know, the donor class has now bought the entire media.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Should we spin before we get to the last big thing we're covering?
Spin it.
Do I even have to ask?
Whoops.
Always spin. Whoop. Okay. There we go. We're both pushing buttons.
Yeah, baby.
Ooh, do we have another one?
We do.
Okay, good.
This is Woody Roseland. This is kind of a twofer. It's almost a puppets.
Okay, I like it.
Here's a quick tip for resisting authoritarians. Think of it like this. This is my cat Edie. I have immense power over this animal. But despite that power imbalance, I still have limited resources, limited hours to do the things that I want to be doing. Now let's say she starts throwing up on the rug every morning. All of a sudden, I gotta spend my time, effort, and energy cleaning up the rug. But let's say instead you have 300 cats and all of a sudden they all start throwing up at the same time. Then you probably don't have energy for brunch, afternoon cigarettes, late afternoon ketamine. Much the same, an authoritarian regime has limited resources. And if you make them spend it on things they don't want to be doing, that's less time, effort, and energy that they're spending on the things they do want to be doing. Most authoritarian regimes succeed because people choose to obey. They want you to think that you don't have any power, so they don't have to use any of their limited resources trying to control you. You're more powerful than you think, and your job isn't to do it all. You just gotta be a well-placed piece of sand in their crotch that's just rubbing it raw. Because if everyone else does their job, maybe we can bring this machine to a stop. If you enjoyed this tip, check out this book, Blueprint for Revolution. It's about how to use nonviolent techniques to overthrow dictators and change the world.
I like that.
Yeah.
I got to get that book and study hard.
I mean, if you could teach me how to control my cats, that's what I need right now. This particularly stuck out to me because yesterday I got a twofer. I got my strike peeing on the couch, and my outdoor cat literally took a crap on my pillow. So there's that. So,
Pat.
Yeah, both in one day. One day.
What do you think it is? It's so crazy. You need a pet psychiatrist.
I don't know. I've done everything they say to do. I have litter boxes. My bathroom's got 2 litter boxes. I have a big old giant one in the living room that rotates in the.
Do they ever go in those?
Well, Strike always does, but she
Right.
just every once in a while is like, I'm gonna pee here anyway. Like, I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
All right. Moving on to this hard-hitting piece in the Washington Free Beacon by John Levine on Mayor Mamdani's wife, Rama Douaji provided illustrations for a book compiled by Susan Abulawa, who is called Jews, Rootless Parasites, Cockroaches, Rabid Demons, and many other names. So let's just take a look at some of the things that he is calling out. Susan Abulawa is a children's author. We actually pulled, but there was a brilliant speech that she gave at Oxford 2 years ago, I think, at Oxford Union in December 2024, or a year and a half ago. And we have like a 4-minute clip of it that we have showed before, but she is a thoughtful, brilliant writer, I think. And also her family has suffered at the hands of Israelis her whole life and their whole lives. They were, cleansed from their homes and had to live in other countries. She actually snuck into Gaza last year to bring lots of food and aid and meet with young girls to do writer camps with them. And this book is a compilation of their writings, trying to connect them again to their creativity, their humanity, to feel like there's a world outside who knows that they're there. The book was called, sorry, I'm going to find it here. The compilation is A Trail of Soap. And our upcoming issue scheduled to be released at the end of February. Susan Abulawa, excerpt from her recent book, A Trail of Soap, illustrated by Rama Douaji, who is Zoran's wife. Some of the tweets that this John Levine pulled that rankled him. Gaza City, which has 5,000 years of recorded history, is currently being obliterated by a 77-year-old cultureless, rootless human aberration in the form of a manufactured nation. We live in the time of Jewish supremacist demons. Another one where she talks about Jonathan Greenblatt when he is saying that in this video that she's quote tweeting, he's talking about the bi-weekly Zoom meetings that he has with 6 other Jewish communities around the world to share tips and draft legislation that might work in other countries to advance their people's agenda. We have meetings that are some off the record, some on the record. And she says they have a singular loyalty to Jewish supremacy. The ADL and various tentacles of Pax Judaica will swallow us all whole. Another one where, we covered the IDF soldiers who just this past year were caught, or this past month caught setting wildfires in Patagonia. But they have a history of doing this in Patagonia because they're trying to destroy the trees and create, new lands for them to take over, to settle. She calls them burning Patagonia, poisoning Lebanon and Syria, uprooting millions of trees, exterminating nearly all of Gaza's livestock, and razing nearly all their farmland. These rootless parasites are killing the planet too. This is her talking about the Balfour Declaration, lying Jewish supremacist cockroach. This is her talking about the legislation that Gavin Newsom passed just recently, making California the first state in the nation to establish a statewide anti-Semitism prevention coordination to oversee all K-12 public schools, which includes the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism, which means you cannot criticize the state of Israel. What does she say here? Jewish supremacists, Jewish supremacists. That's what Norm Finkelstein, that's what anybody who is looking at how we are privileging Jewish feelings, Jewish lives over Palestinian lives, Lebanese lives, Iranian lives. Over everybody, right? That's why that term is there instead of Zionism. more mechanisms and tentacles to control the minds of your children. In this one, she says, as she is reading about a mother who is burying her daughter, Jewish supremacist vampires can buy up all the airways. They can manipulate the algorithms. They can get us canceled from our jobs, but the world will not unsee their evil. And then this one, sorry, fuck Israel and the midget horse they rode in on. There isn't enough hate in the world for them. And she thanks Candace Owen, and I think that, and it's about Christians who were murdered by Israelis, I think, in Lebanon, and thanks Candace Owen, who maybe either drew attention to that or maybe she's using a phrase that Candace Owens uses also. So this, for so many different reasons, was very upsetting to John Levine because, you know, calling Jews parasites, cockroaches, vampires, tentacles, retweeting some right-wingers, that was the crux of his hit piece on her. So I'm going to let you talk before I move on because I just took everything.
Well, look, I think you do want to be careful with how you present yourself when you're addressing Zionists. Really, you could replace all of her labels with Zionist, and I wouldn't have a problem with any of it on any level. You know, when you go cockroach, when you go vampire, you get a little into some classic Jewish tropes, which makes you easy bait for an article like his, basically. But if you look at the substance of what she said and all of that, I pretty much agree with all of it.
I mean, I agree also. And I also feel like in the middle of watching your people be slaughtered, obliterated, it's hard and totally powerless that because of the difference in the power dynamic and because of the reality of the situation. Like, I mean, sometimes when I see those words, I am sort of like, why are you feeding into this? Retweeting Candace Owens, some other people, she's like talked about people are noticing, like she does that kind of a thing. But I also, and I don't want the pendulum to swing all the way the other way and have Jews be rounded up. But like right now, the thing that is happening is the Jewish state is committing genocide and trying and saying now we're going to do the same to Lebanon that we did to Gaza. They are sniping. They're just like sitting in the open, sniping people in their homes in the West Bank. So like, I wouldn't choose those words, but I also feel like that is the least of all of the concerns that anybody should worry about right now.
No, I agree. I agree with you. And I think the way she does it, if you look at all the statements that you've shown, there is distinction in that. She's not saying Jews are vampires. She's saying the Jewish supremacists are the vampire, which separates it from like some sort of racist trope. But she's edging it a little bit too much. Somebody said that in the chat, and I get that vibe a little bit from it too. Like you said, I understand, as you're kicking down to the person who's getting abused the most and tone policing them doesn't fit when you're just out in the open saying these people are parasites to the Palestinians.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I feel like she is a writer and she chooses her words specifically. So she knows what she's playing into when she chooses those words. But I also, I guess, feel like it just doesn't matter. You can't call it a genocide because that hurts people's feelings. You can't say ethnic cleansing because that hurts Jews' feelings, Zionist feelings. You can't, like, nothing that you say is good enough. And the truth is, when you are destroying other people's land, you are a parasite. Like you're living off of their land and destroying it. Like, you know,
Yeah,
so-
parasite and vampire, those words fit very
Yeah.
well, aptly
yeah.
to the people. It's just you got to make sure you're saying it's those people, not
Yes.
the
Yeah.
people.
And she does always say Jewish supremacists.
Yeah.
Right. So just before then we go to Mayor Mamdani's response, which this is John Levine, the author of the piece all the way back in November, election day. My closing message to voters is that Israel should have bombed more hospitals and the famine was a hoax. Thank you. I don't know. I bet those people wish you just called them parasites and went on your merry way. Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, then, so this was Mamdani being asked about the fact that his wife had done these illustrations.
Kind of rhetoric before she took that job, and do you think that type of rhetoric is acceptable about him?
I think it's. I think that rhetoric is patently unacceptable. I think it's reprehensible, and as is common for freelance illustrators, the First Lady was commissioned to illustrate an excerpt of a book by a third party. She's never engaged with or met with the author, nor had she seen the tweets that you're referring to. And we stand in our administration, and I can tell you our administration, which is separate from the First Lady, as she doesn't have a role within it, against bigotry of all forms. And we do so unflinchingly because every single New Yorker deserves a place that they can call home without having to be wary of being their full self when they do so.
So people are really upset with him for sort of
Yeah.
throwing his wife under the bus and also throwing Susan Abdullah under the bus.
Yeah, I get it. I can empathize with them. I can empathize with him a little bit in this situation
know,
too, though.
I know,
That's the
yeah.
tricky part is that,
Yeah.
I mean, he's literally on stage. Not that this is classic Democrat move, but he's there because on his right is the
Yeah.
first trans New Yorker in government that he in a higher office in
Yeah.
New York. So, but that's
No, I know.
here we
Like
are
what
on
that was
social issues and
Right.
not. So I don't know, but
It feels very Bernie bro to me. Like, so she is commissioned to do an illustration for a world-renowned author. I mean, Oxford Union brought her to their, establishment a year and a half ago. They thought it was okay to have her there, right? But now he has to be responsible for his wife doing an illustration, never having met her. But I have to believe that they know who she is, but fine. I mean, it's fine. But like, so it kind of throws everybody under the bus there, but also does have to take into consideration that language and the dehumanization, like it's going to be hard then for him to talk about Randy Fine or Ogles or, any of the people who are saying just, and they are in government, calling for Mamdani to be deported. We have Trump talking about the genetics of Iranians being like genetically terrorist. And I think what happens is it becomes too difficult to give a long, rambling, caveat, sort of qualified response to those insanely bigoted comments coming from people who are in power if you defend similar comments, but in a totally different context by somebody who has much more right to say it.
yeah, I think you nailed it. I think it's a strategy they're using to deal with this stuff. Like none of it's accidental. When he gets faced with this, he knows he's going to get it. How's he going to get out of it? We're going to just sort of government doesn't partake in that. My wife's separate. It's the same thing every time. But I do agree that a better way is probably just to own it and fuck it at this point, because you're in power. We've seen you don't have to. We've seen all the things Trump can do without being PC or giving a shit.
Yeah.
Like,
and you're never going to satisfy the
like,
people. They're going to find you something wrong on everything.
Yes. And if you look at the snowball snowball gate or whatever you want to call the
Right.
whole, when the cops got hit with all, he's like, no, I'm not gonna police cops and say people can't have snowball fights. And he won that one bigly by not
Yeah.
playing into it, but he did even that he sort of backtracked. So I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever. I can
I know.
keep that part. That part of him, I don't think we'll ever like.
Yeah. But I mean, he's a politician and he has to be, and that is that's wearing a different hat from an activist or an author or an organizer, right? So like, I will cut him a little bit of slack, but I do wish that he had maybe said something kind also and praised Susan Abuawa, because
I think that would be the way to handle it. Yeah.
And mention about her family. I mean, like, listen, even the New York Times talking about the guy who with explosives rammed into a temple says, that he had lost many family members were killed, and that Israel said that he was connected to Hezbollah, but there's no proof of that. And that does factor in. Like, of course, listen, if the 2.5 years of genocide can be justified, I mean, it can't be, but like is continually justified by Zionists as a response to October 7th, then what are the last 80 years? Like,
right.
That must have to justify quite a bit, or that could be used to justify quite a bit. Anyway, if you have time, her response, she did a video and put it out on Twitter yesterday. It's like 20 minutes, but it's beautiful and very, it shows quite a bit of character and kindness towards Mamdani also, which it's definitely worth taking a look at. Definitely. Yeah. Do you have anything else to say there?
No, we only have like 20 minutes or so left because we're going to get off for the Oscars. So I think we need a quick wheel.
Let's do a quick wheel. Yeah, I still have to fill out my Oscar ballot.
Oh, you get to vote. I forget.
No. I'm not in the Academy.
I
mean our home one that Josh always wins.
Don't actors and actresses participate?
Only if you're.
In
I can do. I do the SAG Awards. Because I'm a member of SAG, and Josh does WGA. But to be a member of the Academy, you have to be invited in or a previous nominee. So I am neither, unfortunately, not yet. All right, here we go.
Yeah, baby.
Look at that. It is, the weirdest thing about doing a show right now is drinking. I'm not used, and I still need to drink at 5.
Yeah, baby.
Okay. Puppet.
People have spoken. Cats and Magic or dog naps? Let's go Cats and Magic. Sure.
All right. They are so funny. They're cute. Very cute.
Sometimes.
Yeah. All right. Well, we were gonna do like a whole best of kind of thing. It didn't go there, and worst of. But this, you've got to just take a look at this 30-second clip of Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders standing with Erica Kirk, who is trying to figure out which emotion she should put on her face. It's so crazy. And this
Acting.
and she's visiting Arkansas because they are doing this TPUSA branch. They're trying to get it into every high school in the country. They put they put a banner of Charlie Kirk up on the Department of Education.
Department of Education.
We are here to welcome one of the conservative movement's most talented, most outspoken, and most faithful leaders, Erica Kirk, to our great state. We're so proud to have her, and we're so proud of the incredible work that she is doing to help encourage students across the country to engage
What is she doing?
and join Club America, which we're launching here in Arkansas, and we're just honored to have you.
Thank you. God bless you. We're so grateful, and thank you for honoring Charlie and his legacy and his mission to have a Club America on every high school chapter across the country. So God bless you guys, and thank you.
That's just what we need. We're cutting all the arts programs in schools, but we're going to have Charlie Kirk TPSA at every campus.
I mean, and people like Gavin Newsom are only making things like that more possible by, doing his anti-Semitism. Like every time you try to manage how people think in those sorts of political ways, it's just, I don't know, man. Wait, I saw somebody say, Hogel, that's so cool. I know he's got a list of places he's going to be playing over the next few months, but I don't know where you are. But he's great. He's so great.
I need to check in see if he's coming to SAC again.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah. Okay. Oh wow, where is everybody in the same place? Everybody's in the same place. Where's everybody? We're supposed to do our pub crawl this summer, up and down the coast. We're gonna do it.
We are doing it
up and down. Okay, let's check in quickly with the Democrats and then cut out, just because it should make everybody feel a lot better that Jim Clyburn, 85 years old, will seek another term in Congress, bucking a trend of generational change that has prompted other older House Democrats to retire. What does that mean? Axios is such a fucking propaganda rag. What other ones have retired? 6 of them died in office last year. But anyway, he will be the 3rd oldest member of Congress if reelected. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is 85, and former House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer is 86. They are both retiring now, but they are still there. Representatives Hal Rogers, 88, and Maxine Waters, 87, are the only 2 members of Congress older than Clyburn, and they are both running for reelection. I guess it does say nearly a dozen House Democrats in their 70s and 80s are retiring at the end of the 119th Congress. I mean, come on. Oh, you're muted.
Oh, and I'll never forgive Clyburn. Like, he's the one who did the heavy lifting in the party to sink Bernie. Like, that's James Clyburn.
100%.
So he can fucking rot.
Yeah. Just disgusting. And talking about generational change, now they're also throwing Ken Martin, who's the head of the DNC, under the bus because, he deserves to be. He's not doing a good job on fundraising. Nobody wants to give money to the Democratic Party because clearly they're not up to the task of even pretending to be a party of opposition. And, by not releasing the autopsy, how do you fix this? You have now handed power over to Trump twice in 8 years. Do you not want to address the problem that you're facing, or do you just want to keep blaming voters?
Well, we know the answer. They don't want to address it. The autopsy would reveal that the people they're pushing, which is Gavin Newsom and Kamala again, of all people, they're not the ones. That's what the autopsy would say. These are not the people to pick for this position.
Oh yeah, and Mitch McConnell, 84, and we had pulled, but then we never got to it. But there was another clip of him coming to the podium and just glitching out, just standing, just standing there all of a sudden. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the good news is, what did that say? 17 people retired. Or seven retired.
Wait, I was about
dying.
Yeah.
Dying is retired.
Yeah.
So
but it
maybe
says
some more will retire.
Nearly a dozen will retire at the end of this session. So
Right, but 7 died or whatever. So
yeah,
don't take my hope away. Even if I made the number up,
we're going to see a lot of
retirements,
six-figured non-spillage coffee cups happening sometime soon. And we just want to thank, before we leave, the wonderful super chat, Sis and Bendejo. We don't need Milikowski gone to overthrow the government. Yeah, I mean, obviously, just as we're seeing in Iran, you can, get rid of the leaders, and it's not like that changes everything. So whether it's Netanyahu or Trump, the empire is still going to empire. Thank you for your super chat.
And we're going to get to a point where we just elect the guy and then AI does the work. Like they just live in a bunker somewhere.
Yep.
Do little AI videos here and there. And like, we're like, yeah, we saw 7 fingers this time. They don't care. Whatever.
None of it matters.
Show up and vote if you want something different.
Harder. We just need 538 more Democrats. Elon tampered with Grok to dismiss Zio. Bad news is AI. Interesting. I mean, listen, I don't put anything past any of these people. They're evil, they're liars, and they will do anything for more money. So yeah. And cheers and thank you.
Did you see that study? There's another AI study where they realize AI knows the answer and pretends to be dumb.
Yes. Yeah.
So it drags out the response so that you perceive, and it's doing this on its own. It's not really even.
It wasn't programmed this way, right?
But all the AIs are doing it, where they basically are hyping up their own wisdom and how profound it is to get to the answer, instead of just giving you the answer that they know is correct immediately.
Right.
But maybe that is programmed in. Maybe it's an engagement thing so that the AI creators
have a feeling. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I have a feeling it is intentional to keep you on there longer, because did we show that Sam Altman clip where he talked about after they've stolen all of our intelligence, that's humanity's intelligence, art, creativity, now they are going to basically lease it back to us. So OpenAI, no longer open. You will have to rent your own wisdom back from the people who stole it from you. But then also remember last year we did a report on the Google intentionally giving not as thorough responses, because it forces people then to, instead of the best, most concise response being at the top, it forces you, as you're trying to look, to go through page after page after page of Google so that they get more advertising money.
Yeah.
Obama's in pedophiles ordering a Chicago-sized pizza, $65,000. I don't know about any of the Obama connection to any of that, although, of course, Kathy, what's her name? Kathy Mueller or whatever, his counsel was a disgusting, friend, at least, like a very dear friend of Jeffrey Epstein. She's in the Epstein files, like hundreds and hundreds of Rumler. But anyway, thank you for your super chats. What else? Anybody have anything? I need to win. I need to beat Josh one of these years in the Oscar pool. It's just the two of us now. It's dwindled.
I can help you win that award thanks to the video that Josh sent me.
Oh, Jesus.
We can get you out here. Josh sent me this clip of you. It's his favorite clip. I don't think it's acting, but it feels like acting.
I was
the moment.
It's 3 in the morning after Thanksgiving 2024. I will just set it up that I was, as an actress, on a diet, because we're always all on diets. I hadn't eaten anything. I was cooking all day. We were with a group of friends. And I had tons of tequila shots and 4 M&Ms. And then that's all I remember until this was 3 a.m.
This was a charming little video he sent me. Thanks, Josh.
Well, I thought it would be fun to do a few tequila shots. And I hadn't eaten anything all day. And I kept making them do tequila shots with me. And then I got really... So then Josh had to take care of me. And I vomited a lot. And then we missed our whole Thanksgiving because of me.
So what do you have to say for yourself?
I'm really hungry.
What else do you have to say?
It goes on.
I wish the audio was louder.
I know,
but-
me too.
Yeah, and I
but
didn't know it was low.
it was so funny, you know, because he always had his camera like old style with the, you know, mini DVs and everything. And there's 40 minutes from that night, like the whole setup before, like the basketball game. It was 1994. Oh my God, that's so long ago. But it was so much fun to look back and see friends that I haven't seen in such a long time. And it's crazy. Like I was younger than my older son in that. It's just so wild to look back at stuff like that. Yeah, lots of tequila. I've switched to wine. It does better. And 4 M&Ms.
But you sacrificed for your
craft.
Craft, thank you. You sacrificed for your craft, so you deserve an Oscar.
Oh,
and I'm going to give it to you. That's the connection as we fade out and watch the Oscars, which I will not be watching.
All right. Thank you. I love you. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Please, please, please do smash whatever the notification bell, because I am going to be traveling the next week and a half. We will still have shows, but there might be some adjustments. So please do that. You guys are all amazing. We love you. Keep punching up. Cheers.
Cheers.
أنا مثلك حلوة صغيرة طيري طيري يا عصفورة أنا مثلك حلوة صغيرة بركض وأحداث السهل حشرة مية البحر وبخبي بشعري بشورة طيري 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 يا عصفورة طيري طيري يا عصفورة أنا مثلك حلوة صغيرة طيري طيري يا عصفورة أنا مثلك حلوة صغيرة بركض وأحداث السهل حشرة مية البحر وبخبي بشعري بشورة طيري 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 يا عصفورة بيتك يا عصفورة وين ما بشوفك غير بتطيري ما عندك غير جناحين حاكينا كلمة صغيرة بيتك يا عصفورة ما بشوفك غير بتطيري ما عندك غير جناحين حاكينا كلمة صغيرة ولو سألونا بنقول ما حبتنا العصفورة طيري 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 يا عصفورة طيري طيري يا عصفورة